Hi, I'm Margie and welcome to my kitchen. Today is the 4th of July and I'm getting ready to make some potato salad. So what I've got here are red potatoes. Red potatoes are always a nice potato to use for potato salad. So I'm going to peel these, cut them up, and start them cooking in some cold water. So I'll be back in a moment. When you're cutting up the potatoes, one important thing to think about is that they should all pretty much be the same size. You're going to be working with all different size potatoes, but in the end, each piece that you put into the water should be the same size so they cook evenly. Now there's a reason why there's still skin on my potatoes. It's not because I'm a lousy potato peeler. But I sort of focus on spots and problems with a potato when I peel it, more than getting all the skins off. So here I've got some ice cold water, and I'm going to put these potatoes into the water. It's not ice cold, but it's cold. So I'm going to go ahead and put some salt in here. One thing about potatoes is they always need a lot of salt. Salting the water is a very good idea. So now I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to make like 3 hard-boiled eggs. This is not bottled water. This is just a bottle of water. If that makes sense. I just filled it with water. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and just place some eggs in here. This is also cold water. And we're going to cover them. I just want 3. So I'm just going to go ahead and do those 3. We'll get a cover. We'll put some salt in there too. Salt, I guess, raises the temperature of the water. Like when you put salt on the ice out on your sidewalk, it melts it. So it helps the water come to a boil more quickly. So I'm going to watch the eggs, and as soon as they come to a boil, I'm going to turn it off and I'm going to put my timer on for 20 minutes. Then when the timer goes off, we'll drop all the eggs into some ice water. So to start off with the potato salad, I've got some celery here that I've washed and I've peeled, and I'm going to chop that up. Okay, so I've chopped this up. So you can see it's not too fine. So I'm just going to collect everything on one plate. I have some onions to do next. This is my Vidalia onion. First thing I'm going to do though before I grate it is I'm going to cut some very thin onion slices. So I like to put that into the potato salad as well. Very, very thin. Just a few super thin pieces. All right, we're just gonna loosen them up on my little plate. I like to put everything out on a plate, and then when I see how many potatoes I have, I can know how much to use. So I'm going to use, this is a wonderful little grater. It's got all sorts of holes. This is the regular one people use for grating cheddar cheese for things. But I'm going to use this one here. It's a little smaller. I'm quite sure that that's enough. I'm actually going to leave this on here. When you're working with onions that you grated, the juice or sliced up, if you just cover them up while you're getting ready to while you're preparing everything else, if you cover them up, then the fumes, the gases from the onions won't make your eyes tear like mine are tearing right now. Okay, so I'm going to turn, the eggs just came to a boil, and I'm going to put them on for about 20 minutes, somewhere between 15 and 20. So now we'll make the dressing for the potato salad. So we have Hellmann's mayonnaise, okay, and I have some Golden's mustard. And we'll have some salt and pepper. I'm only going to imagine how much I need based on how many potatoes I know I did. So I'm going to probably put a good cup in here to start off with. This is this is a 4-cup measure, so it's going to be hard to measure a cup with this. But I'm going to think about those potatoes and go by that. You can always make a little bit more. I'd rather make a little bit more than have way too much. So I'm just giving it a stir to smooth it out. And then I'm going to just put a little touch of mustard in, maybe even somewhere, maybe a teaspoon of mustard. Maybe a teaspoon and a half or two. And then I'm going to add my onion. It's good to add the spicy type things to the dressing itself. This is a good teaspoon of the grated onion. A lot of it is to taste. You don't want to overdo it. I don't have that many potatoes. Then salt is interesting. Like I said, potatoes, I almost never put enough salt in my potato salad. So there's like a teaspoon of salt. I didn't quite use all of that. I'm going to try it. Better to have not enough than too much salt, that's for sure. But potatoes are very difficult to get salty enough. Then go ahead and put some pepper in. Okay, so there's some dressing for the potato salad. And if I need a little bit more, I can throw a little bit together pretty quickly. So the potatoes are boiling, and I'm just going to, I have this great little tool. I can just pick up a couple of potatoes because, okay, they're just barely starting to get soft. So I'm going to put the timer on for 10 minutes, and I'll test them again. Because when you leave them in the cold water, sometimes it takes a long time to boil, and I'm never quite sure if they're done, so I do check once in a while. The eggs are going to be done in just a couple of minutes, so I just want to get some ice into a bowl with some water. Just want that to be ready for the eggs. Let's check the potatoes. These are pretty much done. That's going to give them an extra, same time as the eggs. They'll come out the same time as the eggs, of course. So the eggs are ready. Oh, so are the potatoes. So I'm just going to go ahead and we'll take the eggs out real quick. Oop. I'll just get those down in there. Then I'm going to take the potatoes. I'm going to go ahead and just pull them out here. So there's our potatoes. And some of those can be cut a little bit more. They're just perfect. And I love that little bit of the red skin. So now I'm going to add some celery to it. So clearly I cut up too much. It's probably 3/4 of a cup of celery. I like celery in my potato salad. That's where all the crunch is. That's also why I like to put the onion pieces in. And I'm just going to leave them whole. Be interesting that way. Now I'm going to go ahead and add my dressing. I'm just going to leave a little bit there because I don't want to overdo it. So I'm using a spatula because I don't want to break up the potatoes too much. But the hot potatoes are going to really going to absorb the dressing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead, I'm just going to leave it as it is right now, and I'm going to put it into a bowl and refrigerate it. We'll go ahead and we'll break up these eggs. See how the water just really, putting them in that cold water right away helps. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and put this in here. And what we can do is we can take an egg. We'll see how it looks. It turned out pretty nice, huh? So go ahead and just leave it at that. I'll cover it, refrigerate it, and it'll be ready. So thank you very much for joining me today, and I hope you have a wonderful 4th of July.